The suspense is over and the Himachal Pradesh elections can be called for the BJP now. The BJP has won and the Congress has lost, which cries concern for the Congress party. The first question we'd like to ask the Congress leadership is, where was Congress President Rahul Gandhi as well as the other Congress leaders when 83-year-old was seen campaigning alone in Himachal Pradesh? Did they lose even before they went down for a real fight to campaign on the ground? Or was it strategy and they thought that Veerbhadra Singh would be able to yield enough influence to help them win? Well, if it was strategy, then it definitely backfired. Question number 2. Now, did the Congress leadership, which was in itself in Himachal Pradesh fighting so much factionalism within the party, take the anti-incumbency charges against Veerbhadra Singh seriously? There were immense corruption charges against him. Did they do enough to tackle this on the ground? After all, Veerbhadra Singh was only an accused. He was not a convict. So did they do enough? Did they strategize enough on the ground to ensure that these corruption charges didn't capture the mood of the people? Could they have gone ahead and dared to float another face as the chief ministerial candidate of Himachal Pradesh? But this brings us to another problem, that the Congress very rarely has a number 2 as far as its regional parties are concerned. So even if they had to float another face, who would it even be? Who could they rely on to win an election for them? This is a problem that the BJP has never had. Now, did the Congress lose sight of certain pressing concerns on the ground? For example, the apple industry. Now, Himachal produces the second largest amount of apples in India only after Jammu and Kashmir, and lakhs of people rely on apples for their livelihood. At a time when 50% of apple production was affected by untimely rain and climate change, at a time when the procurement mechanism of apples from buying to selling, the entire chain is completely unregulated by the government, allowing private traders to get huge profits at the cost of the farmers. At such a point, the government only increased the minimum support price of apples by 0.25 paisa. Or they did not take the implications of the Gudiya rape case, the brutal rape and murder of a 15-year-old minor from Shimla seriously. Did they lose eminent votes with the voters, the youngsters as well as the women? Did they not take the job opportunities and employment that the youth was crying for seriously? Solan, which is considered to be the education hub of Himachal with multiple universities, had a lot of universities and seats for students to study, but where were the jobs? Himachal Pradesh is going to be the 19th state in India to be governed by a BJP government. Now, doesn't that concern you? Aren't you already behind on your strategy for 5 years from now or for the Lok Sabha elections in 2019? Are you planning to rely on 83-year-old Veerbhadra Singh, who will be 88 years old then, to be the face of your election campaigning on the ground? If he couldn't win this election this time, then how do you think he's going to win the next time? What is your strategy?